I've shared this story with you before. That's kind of how I found religious. I left, orthodoxy when I was about 15 because they were sending everybody to hell but us. And I said, if we're the only ones going to be in the next place, I don't want to go. And then I realized through religious science, this is the next place. This is heaven if I choose to let it be. But heaven is not just having it all handed to me, it's learning how to do what? Demonstrate it, and then use it as a launching pad to demonstrate the beautiful, the happy, the healthy, the wonderful, so that as I move through each and every day from where I have been to where I can be, I'm giving my best to what's in front of me. Giving my best to what's in front of me. Everyone say, if I give the best, it multiplies and returns where? Point to it. Okay. See, that's where it goes. See, this is why you can see, if you understand this principle, no one will ever upset you again because you will know in principle whatever they are doing has to return to them. So all you have to do is pay attention to what you're doing. Then you know what's going to return to you. You know what, you can see very clearly what's going to return to them. Okay. How many know when you learned this principle when you were a child. How many heard when you were a child, sticks and stones will break your bones? Okay. But words will never hurt me unless I do what? Become one with the word. Words will never heal you unless you become one with the word. What words are you becoming one with? What kind of words are you embodying? What kind of words are you living? What is your affirmation? What is your expectation? You see, unless we as individuals understand that there is a universal creative intelligence supporting our life, empowering every idea that we have, and doing what? It is supplying strength, it is supplying health, it is supplying happiness, it is supplying creativity, it is supplying everything we need. See? And it doesn't care what time. If you want to write a song at 4 o'clock in the morning, write it. Okay. If you want to change your life for the better, change it for the better. Don't wait for somebody else to change. Get busy and do what? Be the change you say you want in everybody else. How many know that the thing that irritates you most about other people is probably something you're not dealing with yourself? So if you do that, if you honor it within yourself, they won't bother you anymore. If you honor it within yourself, then you can do what? You can say, hey, they just are where they are, going to where they can be, and however long it takes for them to get there is going to be as long as they need. Now, I'm not going to wait for them. How many have done that? I'm going to wait for them to get happy so I can feel better. I'm going to wait for them to change so I can feel better. I'm going to wait for everybody else to change. It doesn't work that way. William James said, act as if act as if it is and it shall be. He was pointing out if you don't feel the way you want to act the way you want to feel, and you'll feel the way you want to act. So our challenge, again, over and over, is to do what? Is to understand that we can look a lot of places to try to find greater good, but the best place to look is here. The greatest teachers who ever lived said, look here. Don't look to them. Look here. Look within yourself. So we looked to religion for assurance of God, for clarification about God, so that we can do what? So that we can feel our lives are empowered if we understand God the way God was meant to be understood, and that is as the truth of ourself. Not as something outside of ourself we have to worship, but as the truth of our own being. We are intelligence being something. What are we being? We're being what we choose to be. Choose you this day the blessing or the curse. That's not two powers, that's two ways of using one power. So we do what? We go forward. We understand that invariably something we're looking for is within ourselves, the understanding we're looking for is within ourselves, the intelligence we're looking for is within ourselves, and we don't have to do what? We don't have to go somewhere else to be inspired. All we have to do is wake up to our own truth and then become inspiration in action. This is personalizing the infinite. Personalizing the infinite. In personalizing infinite intelligence in you and me as me, we have to free ourselves, if we're going to do it by way of religious science, From the orthodox concept of an anthropomorphic being, we have to honor a big boss in the sky, because if your concept of a big boss in the sky is your concept of God, then you're going to have to practice a religion that has rules and regulations. This is why religious science, as a Presbyterian minister who was taking classes with me a few years ago, said, this is the most difficult religion in the world to practice. I said, why is that? He said, because you got to make up your own rules. You got to write your own experience. You've got to create your own ideas and then follow them. Now, we don't tell you what to do. We do show you how to do it. Everyone say, I want to be happier. Now, if you want to be happier, haven't you heard something here that if you follow the instruction will create more happiness? Okay. Now, if you're not doing it, why aren't you doing it? Okay. Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you being it? Why aren't you applying it? Why aren't you evolving out of the beginner's mind? Only one knows if you're still there is you. So you find yourself freeing yourself to do what? You're freeing yourself from jealousy. You're freeing yourself from rage. You're freeing yourself from cold-heartedness. You're freeing yourself from anxiety. You're freeing yourself from resentment. You're freeing yourself from negative thinking. You're freeing yourself from passing judgment on any person, place, or thing. Judge not, or you'll be judged by your own judgment. Isn't that what it says? So everyone say, I free myself to be the best of myself and understand where I am and what I'm doing and take responsibility. One of my favorite stories over the years has been the two guys that had too much to drink and they're going down a railroad track. And one of them says, this is the longest flight of stairs I've ever been on in my life. The other one says, the stairs aren't so bad, it's the damn banister that's killing me. Okay, now these people are having a hard time in the wrong place. Everyone say, if I want to go higher, I get off the railroad track and get on the stairs. And the only one knows where I am is me. So where are you? Are you ready to go higher? Are you ready to lift yourself higher? Ready to think yourself higher? See, if you do, the power within you can only say yes to your acceptance. Now, the idea that you have of God will free you into a whole new beautiful experience beyond anything you've ever known if you know that every idea you have about infinite intelligence in you as you is you. It's all you. That's what you're looking for. You are the kingdom. You are the glory. You are the realization of greater good. Our wonderful teaching appeals to a lot of people. It appeals to people who have come to realize that God is really with us, within us, as us, and will do anything we let it do. Let go and let God. So if you have something that needs to change for the better in your life today, everyone say, I let it happen. I cooperate with the change. Now, if the change was 100% in your life in this moment right now, if I could just wave a magic wand and it's here, how would you feel? My challenge to you is leave here this morning feeling that way. Leave here this morning planning to do what? Be responsible for what you're accepting, the change for the better. Allow yourself to know that the power or God within you can be relied on. See, what is awakening? We talked about this before. Everyone say, I trust my understanding. See, there's the challenge. To understand and then do what? Trust what you understand. God is love. It made me out of itself. The truth of me is love. There's nothing else but love. Love, love, love. All is love. Heaven and earth shall pass away. Love will remain. I am love in action. Now, I understand this. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to trust it. As I trusted, I began to grow in consciousness. As I trusted, I began to move forward in consciousness. God is our greater good. It's the one perfect power of our being, and that which is within us, as us, is forever free to express life where? Here and now, as me, as you. See, I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. Why? Because God is the song. And the challenge you have is to ask yourself, what is my tune? What is my song? What song am I singing? Oh, what a beautiful morning, or nobody knows the trouble I've seen. See, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. How many been in that club? Okay. How many joined the Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen club, where they all try to tell you a story worse than theirs? Okay. Tell you a story worse than theirs. Okay. Give up your stories. Give up your story about why you can't. Give up your story about why it won't change. Give up your story about why they are bothering you. Give up your story about them and start telling a story about you. From what? From now, from a new idea, from a new, healthy, happier concept. See, a beginner's mind is like people who wind up in metaphysical kindergarten. It's so much fun, they won't let themselves go to first grade. Second grade, third grade, fourth grade. Dr. Raymond Charles Barker, how many remember Dr. Barker? Okay. Were any of you there to see Lamar? Almost every year he would ask people, how long you been in this teaching? He said 30 years. All these people raised their hand. He'd look at them and say, how many are still working on the same problem after 30 years? How many were still working on the problem after 25 years, 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, 5 years? 1 year, 1 week, 1 day, 1 Sunday service. Do you know how much I appreciate the fact that all of you got up this morning, took a shower, got dressed, hopefully, and and made it all the way here? When I look out and see people from Santa Cruz and Sacramento and all these people that people drive 2 hours to get here on Sunday, I'm going, whoa, this is just absolutely wonderful that they took the time to come here and get a lesson that will make it worth their while to be here. And then I think back when I was in my 20s, back in the 60s, and I would get up in Los Angeles on Sunday morning about 6 o'clock and get dressed and drive to San Diego because I wanted to hear what Dr. Craig Carter was talking about or thinking about that morning. Also, I knew a young lady from San Diego that... So it made the trip work. Yeah. But the challenge was then, as the challenge is now, is to know, say with me, the more I know, the more I know, there's more to know. So there's always more to know. And it always gets clearer, and it always gets better. Fenwick Holmes said to me once, said, the best thing about being a religious science minister, you get to take class every year. Isn't that right, Reverend Dar? Reverend Lacey. Yes, Reverend Lacey. Reverend Lacey, how many years do you have first year with me? 13 years. I finally talked him into being a minister. Not only was he the best student I've probably ever had, he's probably the best teacher we've ever had in religious science, or as good as the best. And the wonderful thing about him is, the wonderful thing about Reverend Lacey and Reverend Dar and Reverend Mary Jo and all of our wonderful men, and Reverend Harriet and all the ministers here, did I miss any of you? Oh, yeah, oh, yes, Reverend Barbara. Yeah. So, is the fact that they are in a situation where they are finding the truth of themselves all the time. And they are discovering all the time that there's more to learn, and they are all wonderful, dedicated, beautiful students. Our challenge, again, is to move forward. Say the last paragraph with me of my treatment. We're going to everybody say, I free myself, from the beginner's mind. And this is your affirmation. Say it with me. I now become inspired to move beyond all difficulties of yesterday and love my new life of deeper purpose. I crave and love positive authenticity. I have new lenses of love for viewing the world. It is perfect for my time. My life is on track, and a fulfilling life is my way. Spiritual self-awareness is my spiritual path, and it fully embraces life and honors the dignity of difference. This awareness invites me to repair anything in my world that needs positive change and transform the way I live and act with myself and others. I now restore myself, my humanity, and my now. I reflect and savor infinite wisdom. I gratefully know I am the holy spark of light, and it is so. So it is and was and shall be in the now of forever. Dear people, and so it is and was and shall be in the now of forever as you. Evolve beyond the beginner's mind. Know this is true. Look for the best and you'll find it. You'll find it because you are the best. I love you. Namaste. Thank you for being here today. Thank you.